How's it going, everybody? I'm doing a little reading this evening, and it's a car reading. Um, Originally, this kind of like started as a little bit of a joke where I didn't know where my tarot cards were, and I wanted to do a collective reading, but I knew where a lot of Hot Wheels cars were, and so I did a little like car reading. And unfortunately, that was just sort of like a short little thing, and it didn't upload properly. So you know what I thought? I figured being a Libra myself and having some notions about sharing a little bit of my wisdom and unique perspective, I thought, uh, maybe I should embrace this Libra full moon. I'm shooting this within 24 hours of that Libra full moon. And so this morning I picked up six Hot Wheels. We have kind of like a V6 of Hot Wheels packs here. And then I threw in a kind of seventh that I just had kind of already laying around in my room in the pack. And so I was like, yeah, it kind of balances it out. Uh, Libra is like the seventh house, right? So we have seven packs of Hot Wheels. And so my thinking is pick a number, pick a pack, and we'll open it up, except for one of them. One of them I probably will keep in the package. You'll see why. Um, but yeah, which one is calling to you? They're all very tantalizing, and they all have very cool cars. Um, Interesting stories behind all of them. And yeah, I think that you'll be interested and surprised to see what you get. I'll be interested and surprised to hear what you get. Let me know in the comments. So, without further ado, let's check it out. So, if you picked pack one, this is your reading. What do we have here? The McMurdy Sperling. Let me crank up the volume on this light here, and we can check it out. Pretty freaking badass. This is a really unique car. Let's see, does it say anything about it? Exotic supercars, always ready to race. No, it doesn't say shit about it. Okay, well, let's open it up. Kind of want to preserve the package slightly. There we go. And put this back down here. Hell yeah. So, this car is really unique for a couple of reasons. I don't know if you can see here, the side of it says, can we get that? Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Yeah, 55.9. And what that refers to is the number of seconds that this thing took to complete the like Stiglap Top Gear track, which is basically it just shattered all the records. It's just stupid fast. I think the 0 to 60 is like 1.2 seconds or something. Like it's crazy. So what's interesting about this car is that it actually, while a lot of cars, in order to like turn and go around corners, they need to basically have a lot of like pressure forcing them down, so that they don't kind of like slide off the track or flip, right? Because they're coming around the corner at crazy speeds, and as they go, if they're not really planted on the ground, they're going to slide off. They're just going to slide right off the table, right? Um, and the way most cars achieve like that planted, stuck in the corners kind of effect is they have like, spoilers like this, wings on the back or like arrow effects so that when the air passes over, it pushes it down and the rear tires continue to have traction and stay stuck. Well, what's so interesting about the McMurdy Sperling is that this guy is actually got fans underneath it. Not on this toy, but like the real car. It has fans, and so it actually sucks itself down onto the road. Like it is suctioned onto the road. You can actually flip this car upside down, and it would drive upside down if you had a track that was upside down. Wild, wild shit. And so, what's interesting about that, at least for me, in regards to like your reading, is that you have kind of like an unconventional way of like, again, staying like grounded or like stuck through these corners, through these turns, right? Because, like, obviously, at a time like this, with the world like this, there is kind of a lot of like curveballs thrown at you. And I just want to say, like, whatever it is that you're doing, you're staying grounded and you're like taking these turns exceptionally well. And it may seem a little bit like, I don't know, like, what do I want to say? Like, when you listen to this car, when you watch this car fly around the track from inside the cockpit, it's kind of a terrifying, like, it feels like the car is too light and too, like, flimsy. At least this is my impression from, like, hearing it and seeing cockpit, like, footage. It feels like this thing is just, like, way too light to be doing the speeds and turns that it should be that's doing, you know? And like the noise that it makes because this is an electric car, right? It's another thing, like your power source, right? You have kind of tapped into like a power source within yourself or within like Gaia, within the earth that's like more renewable, right? Something that is like not as harmful as maybe the older ways of like moving yourself through the universe, through your life. So kudos on you for doing that. But the other side of it is sometimes when you like tap into those, like those inner earth, like alternative energy sources, they can be a bit unconventional. And so, like, a normal car, you're in the car and you love the sound of the fucking thing flying down the track. This thing, on the other hand, it sounds, I mean, look, there are some good sounds in there, some like, kind of like blow off valve kind of noises, some little like shutters and like, good sounds like that. But mostly it's this like extreme electric whine that is just like kind of jittering. So, like, what I'll say about that is like, you are achieving insane performances. You're sticking with it. You're like pinning it through turns. You're going to like set some lap records. But like, I got a feeling that it's like a little bit like nerve jiggling and like, yeah, I bet when you finally get a chance to take a break, you're going to like, yeah, really enjoy that break because like these are fast laps. These are hot laps, you know. But looking freaking cool in the blue, right? Like I have this car in a silver colorway. And it was like super rare. I only found one and I was like, wow, oh my God, a McMurdy Sperling. And then the local Ralph's just recently got like a shitload of these like blue ones. So I'm digging it. Some throat chakra thing right there. That's like throat chakra into kind of like I don't know, I get more of like this night sky, so some of this intuition, I feel like that's partially how you are like taking these turns so fast, is that like you are tapped into like that almost cosmic intuition. Um which is beautiful. I think that like you're doing a great job with that. And yeah, keep being you, keep on like keep blazing it around that track, and of course remember to like take a break and let the tires cool down, let your nerves cool down, but like you're doing something incredible. You're setting records. And yeah, keep on going. Great job. All right, so if number two was the car that you chose, let's see what your car reading has to say. So, what do we have here? We have night speed, emerging from the shadows to speed through the darkness. These slick wheels rule the night. Well, there you go. I mean, emerging from the shadows to speed through the darkness. y'all, y'all are clearly not afraid of like, yeah, the night, your darkness, like the shadows. That's beautiful. I think a lot of people they are afraid of that, and you can't really appreciate the one without the other. And I think that's probably why you got two here. It's there's something beautiful and harmonious about these two things, the light and the shadow. All right, so let's take a look at the car. Oh my gosh, you got a really freaking cool car. You've got some style, my friend. Yeah, this is a sick one. All right, so let's crank it open and see what we got here. Yup. Yep, that will work, right? I think so, friend. If that won't get it done, I don't know. Maybe you should have picked a different car. I think it's really sick. It's definitely like a JDM kind of like, I don't know whether they're basing it off of like a RX-7 or let's see, is the back, what's the back like? Yeah, it's kind of RX-70, you know? So you've got this like very kind of like, yeah, classic 90s JDM, but like modded. You got this sick like front lip here. This little guy here. You got I don't know what this writing exactly says, but your numbers are 00, which is pretty dope. I also see that as kind of like an infinity. You can kind of see that, the double zeros. Oh, sorry to bop the camera. What was the other things that I spied about these cars? Because I took a look at these cars. There's this cute little like cat sticker right here that says meow. But yeah, this is a car that, unlike pile number one, which is so funny, I didn't even draw that association. In pile number one, they had a single seater. This guy right here is a two-seater. And I've actually taken a look inside here. Let me see if I can grab my flashlight. Where did that go? Yeah, here we go. We can peek in the back. I don't know if you can make it out, but there are some little subwoofers in there for sure. I mean, they're probably like 212s though, right? Because this is, a little car and little woofers inside a little car. Probably big woofers for this car. At least that's the dream car that I imagine is 212s, right? Giant subwoofers in there. Because this is like clearly like your Tokyo street drift, like pull up with like all the Harajuku girls and shit. Like, right? Like this is that car. And I love that because like yeah, it looks so good with the light kind of just glossing across it. Yeah. This is one of those like drive it through the parking structures and like, shoot fire out the back of it and like blast music. It's kind of, it's hoodlummy adjacent, but honestly, like it's got the Japanese influence, so it's not really hoodlummy. It's like, it's fine taste hoodlum. So like, yeah, I think this is like a speaks to kind of like a very refined taste. There's like a little bit of a, obviously it's harkening back to a slightly older era. So like maybe right now, yeah, like there's a kind of like there's a sort of a building here I see on, I mean, maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but like that 90s is that youth, right? Like when you were kind of like just growing up and whatnot, like seeing these cars and being like, yeah, that is rad. And then now being able to kind of like afford to do what you want with it. I mean, at least that's the that's the dream idea. I don't even have a car, but theoretically, I should be able to afford to do what I want with a car like this. And I can because it's a Hot Wheels car, and I'm making a reading. Um, but like, yeah, there's this sort of like maybe there was a dream. It doesn't have to be a car, but it's like a dream that you had as a child, that is now kind of like almost like before you even really noticed it, because there's all these like endorsements of different like stickers of like people who are sponsoring the car or have thrown parts in, people who are part of the crew who kind of like endorse this vehicle, right? It's covered in them. Like, so this is a car that has like had a journey and it's part of a community, and like it has evolved, and it's something to be really proud of at this point. It's something to be like shared, right? Not just with the community, but also with someone special potentially, because you've got this like two-seater here, and like it's a car that like it can go fast. It can go really freaking fast. I bet this thing shoots fire. For sure it shoots fire. Guaranteed it shoots fire. Probably makes amazing noises. Like blowing through tunnels, like blow off valve, like all the twos. Yeah, that's actually hilarious, right? So, like um, on a car like this, especially like a turbo, if this was like an RX-7, like a twin turbo rotary, and the thing has like these blow off valves, so as it builds boost from the turbo, it'll blow off and it'll sound like toot 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 toot, toot, right? Which is hilarious because you have car number two. So toot 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 toot. There's definitely something in there, but there's also this 0 0. So you have like a 2 0 kind of thing going on, which is quite mysterious. You've got the red of like the root chakra. So again, like this ties into like belonging, like there is something really inherent in the life that you've built that is just like you belong here, and you're making it look fucking good. You're making it look sexy. And like, yeah, maybe it's not like the absolute newest, fastest, most computer controlled crazy ass thing out there. I mean, honestly, this thing could be, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like the newest Koenigsegg or something like that, um, or Rolls or something like that. But it's got something that those things don't, which is like this sort of like again relatable like communal tie. Like it has roots, Not that those other things don't have roots in their own way, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, this is a it's so interesting. They pitched it so much as like a shadowy, dark thing, and I guess so. Like all those things are kind of like, I guess in that case, this thing has undercarriage lights. It for sure has undercarriage lights. I mean, not here, but as it's flying through the streets of Tokyo and whatnot, which just means like you glow. Like as you flow, as you like go about your your life, like you leave a kind of a neon trace. You leave your unique imprint. Cool. Well, you're doing great, friend. Um, Looking badass. I am so excited to like actually see whatever your car is, because obviously we understand these are metaphors, right? This could be, what could this car be? It could be your business, it could be your hobby, it could be your, um, a relationship of yours, like, I don't know, just your style, your worldview, your uniquely crafted personality. Whatever it is, looks badass. All right, take care, friend. Okay, so if the pack number three, car number three, is your car, let's take a look and see what it is. All right, we have Track Ripper. These speed demons prove any day is a great day to hit the track. Beautiful. Doesn't really tell us too much, but again, we have number three here. What do we have? Oh, shit. Yeah, this one is a really sick one. When I saw this one on the shelf, I was just like, what in the world is this? Let's see if we can get a better look. It has, yeah, I'll show you the box art a little bit and then we'll open it up. The box art, honestly, here's the deal. It looks a little trippy to me. Like, the render to me looks kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of planes and surfaces and hood scoops on hood scoops and flaps, and there's just a lot going on. This air dam, I'm not sure what's going on. Anyways, so from the box art alone, I would not have picked it right away. I mean, it looks cool from a bit, good from afar, but far from good. At least that's what I'm saying. Not shitting on the artist, but I'm just saying like that's not what sold me. What sold me was this car. That is a really good looking car. All right, let's open it up because you can't even see it. Look at that frickin' beauty. Ooh. Yeah. Now do you see why I'm saying that 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 this box art doesn't really do this any justice? Yeah, like I don't know what that is, but this is frickin' cool. It's got this intense neon undercarriage, like the entire thing, just nice flat line around the bottom. Doesn't carry through to the lip, which is interesting. Like starts at those like rear wheels and then finishes out in the back, which looks amazing with the exhaust. Yeah, really, really good looking car. This is like one of those fantasy vehicles, It's not a real car that like is produced. It's one of the like Hot Wheels designers' brain children, and you got a dang good looking baby, whatever, whoever the hell you are, friend over there at Mattel. And yeah, I just like, I love the way this spoiler has this kind of like the little like hooks at the end. Like this has a very like dragony kind of vibe. Do you get that? You see kind of like dragon vibes in here? I don't know if it's just me, but there's like a winged dragony kind of essence about this. And that like paint, I don't know if you can fully see it. Let me hit it with the flashlight. You can blow it up. Yeah, it's like a nice like sparkle. And then that that windshield is like a neon yellow, which is really cool. And then you can see that carries through into the like air vents in the hood, right? Which is dope, as well as the air vents behind the wheels and into the like rear window. This would be a really cool one to illuminate. Yeah, this one will look super duper cool illuminated. It's a bit of a shame that there's not like a a breakthrough in the front here so they could get the lights popping through in the front, but I'm sure that would be easy to modify. So, all right. First off, this is a very cool car. And immediately I'm talking about what could we do to this thing to like really like make it glow, like I'm already wanting to collaborate here. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a really cool energy to have right off the rip for your car. Um, and yeah, there's something very individualistic about it. Let me turn up the light a little bit and see if, yeah, that's kind of nice, right? Give us a little bit more light. Apologies for bumping the camera. So, what else is it that I see about this thing? Um, yeah, again, it's a custom built kind of like creation. We're going wide body, which is just ultra tasteful. Um, we have kind of like a unit one kind of like um, Evangelion kind of style colorway here. I don't know if that was intended or not, but it definitely gives that kind of yeah, well, it's interesting. Like you guys chose car number three, right? And what is his name? Is it Shinji? Yeah, I think it's Shinji who's pilots Zero One and Evangelion. Anyways, yeah, he's like he's the child, right? So you have that like mother, father, and then child, number three. So this is speaking to kind of like it's like a cross pollination. It's like the consciousness that has chosen all of its most favorite elements of like yeah, like father's world and mother's world, this sort of like um I don't know, maybe that seems a little bit weird, but and it's also a little bit of like being kind of the one as well, the one to kind of like bring these things together and then like marry them in a really like beautiful, interesting, entirely unique package. And maybe it is something that other people would see and kind of like, and maybe they have, right? They've seen a little bit, like they've seen the box art, right, of what it is that you've got cooking. Um, but they may have judged it, like I judged the box art on that thing. And maybe certain people are like not really kind of like knowing how to whether to back what it is that you're doing or not because like it's not a name brand. This is not a car that everyone knows about. Like, you can't just point to, a racing pedigree and go, yeah, that this is Porsche. Like, they're they're going to be like really reliable. This is AMG. Like, yeah, okay, cool. We understand. We'll back your crazy ass. We'll throw down serious coin on a car like that because we know that it's going to be legit. This is one of those things where like I mean it's not even that you're trying to sell it. Like this is I mean maybe you are, but I feel like this is you, this is your energy. This is kind of like what you are bringing to the world now and it's not necessarily for sale. It was chosen for you by you to create the most like radical fusion you possibly could and it will prove itself out as soon as this thing pops out of the package. It's immediately one of the coolest cars on the table and like I really freaking love this pop of color underneath. That again speaks to that like idea of if this thing's parked outside in the dark, if this thing is like somewhat shadowed, you're never gonna really understand how much like vibrance is here. But as soon as you kind of like get that other side of it, you understand that this thing is like it's glowing. It's on another level. So Congratulations, my friends. You guys are on another level. You guys are glowing. You are a perfect fusion of yeah, the sort of like two streams of lineage, I almost want to say. Um, and whatever it is you're doing, it's freaking wow, look at that. It just looks so sick. Whatever you're doing is looking so sick. I can just tell because this is a mirror. Like that's how this works, right? Hey, you tuned in, and I'm getting a little preview, a little peek at what it is that you're up to. And by the looks of it, this thing's a two-seater. So, if you got something really cool going on, hit me up. Oh, we can drive around the block. This thing looks like it'd be a blast to get a little bit of a a taxi ride in. Anyways, have a good one, and yeah, hopefully see you in another one of these beautiful car readings sometime soon. Okay, friend, was number 4 the car that you chose? Let's take a look at it. All right, so what's interesting already is the back of this is unlike the back of any of these. See the other ones? They have these like black brackets, just the layout of it is different. This is quite a strange package. Doesn't really even say what it is, so let's flip it around. Ooh, what do we have here? So this is kind of the special feature, um, oddball one that I had laying around that was actually on my work desk for a cool minute, and it hasn't been taken out of the package because the package is just really cool. Like I love this kind of like airbrushed or I don't know, like what would that have been done with? That would have been done like oil pastels, right? On like toned paper, potentially airbrush. I don't know. There's just something super cool about that old school artwork. Hard for me to break this thing out of the package. That said, it is really unfair to not open it up for you guys. Uh, come on, I could always pick one up on eBay. Damn, are you really gonna have me open it up? Night Shifter. Look how freaking cool it is. Let's just admire it from outside of the package. I mean, inside the package. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. It's got this orange bottom. Absolutely super cool with these white wheels. Like, I've never seen that. They look like marshmallows to me, which is amazing. Then you've got this spooky dude, right? He's like this. You see what I'm see what they got going on here? Got this like one eyeballed skeleton guy, right? He's just lurking along. You got skulls on the wheels, right? You got this ice blue kind of like creepy like window window panes here. There's just something kind of creepy about it over the like chrome. I don't know. I think it's spooky. All right, wait. For real though, should we open this thing up? Yeah, we gotta open it up. All right, so we're gonna open it up this way. Hopefully it'll kind of hold up. Won't screw up the artwork too much. Very carefully liberate it from its package, from its sarcophagi, plastic, and blister card. That's the sound of a free Hot Wheels. Ah, so cool. All right, so clearly something special here. We've liberated the Night Shifter. I believe that's what it's called. Night Shifter. We've freed the Night Shifter from his spooky package. All right, let's set that down for a moment and let's take a look at Night Shifter himself. Because I have not looked at it a whole lot today. But when I initially got it, I did give it a good inspection, and I feel like it was quite interesting for a couple of reasons. Yes, of course, we've got the cool graphics, the one eyeballed skeleton. We've got the like cool undercarriage. We got the marshmallow wheels. Got that nice ice blue with these like chrome like engine here. And I guess these are what are the we don't know. I guess those are nitrous tanks. Are those nitrous tanks? Dear Lord, if that's what that is, geez Louise, this thing is obviously going to be like a bat out of hell. This thing is going to be outrageous. But here's what I've picked up on that is kind of most unsettling, dear reader, is that the the exhaust, I believe, see these tubes here, right? I believe that's the exhaust, is it not? I don't know. Correct me if you're an engine aficionado and you know more about it than I do, but I think the exhaust is going directly into the windshield. It's just ventilating right into the car. So, what does that tell you? It tells you that this is a car that only death can drive. only only this skeleton guy, right? Or, one of his associates is really able to pilot this thing. Um, you need to be death proof in order to drive this car because by the look of it, with two giant freaking nitrous tanks, and I don't know what this is. Let's see, is that a? It's got to be like a V8 or something like that. Is it one, two, three, four? At least a V8, if not a 10. You know what I mean? These things are clearly this is a bit of an over-the-top car, so I would not put it past it to have a V10 or 12 in there, right? Anyways, regardless, this thing is exhausting directly into the cabin, and if you don't know what that's going to do, it's going to kill you because, exhaust, you don't want that inside the vehicle. That's why exhaust's out the back or some other area, right? That's not the case with this thing. So what does that tell me? That tells me because this is, we're reading on like your energy, right? Or at least that's kind of what my intent was, is to kind of like pick up on kind of like a bit of like what you've built or what you're driving, right? What are you driving, friend? Well, you're driving something that is so completely built for you, specific to you, that if anyone else piloted it, they would they would die. they they would not. Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to say that on like YouTube and stuff. Well, anyways, they would not survive in your boots, in your shoes, in your cockpit, um, because the thing is, you figured out a way to kind of like fuel yourself and propel yourself, but also, I guess, somehow alchemize or like, um, it's almost like you've found a way to take the byproduct of whatever it is that you're doing, and you're kind of like you're huffing it. No, you're using it almost as a smoke screen. It's like, how exactly does that work? I don't know. I mean, look, this is clearly a very mysterious car. There's, the mysteries of death here. Like, how are we going to necessarily say how the skeleton Grim Reaper drives around, how the night shifter shifts around in the night without exhausting himself completely. Maybe it's energy drinks. I don't know. I don't know how he doesn't get exhausted. No. uh, Cautionary tale, kids. Don't drink too many energy drinks. It's not a good idea. But you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. So yeah, maybe that's what's in these tanks, right? Monster. Whatever it is you're doing, you figured out a way to make it work, and ain't nobody going to jump in and drive your car. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. They wouldn't even try. They wouldn't even try. Um, that said, I would avoid doing excessive amounts of burnouts because the amount of smoke inside your cabin is probably going to make it pretty hard for you to drive. So, um, that's probably a personal message from me as well, you know? But as far as a coolness factor, I'm gonna put this thing way high on the coolness factor. Again, you get huge benefits whenever you do a tinted canopy. You get huge benefits whenever you do like a solid like neon color for the floor. Same thing, major kudos whenever you throw in like alternately colored wheels or a different color of wheels rather than just black. Matte is always pretty cool, but especially when you're like pairing it up with chrome and you're pairing it up with this like ice blue. So yeah, I feel like you're speaking your truth, but you're also kind of flying under the radar and you're looking badass. So I don't know. Keep on shifting in the night, my friend. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Come back soon. Okay, so if you picked pack number 5, this is your reading. Let us see what we got here. We got the 76 Chevette drag racer. Cool. All right, let's take a peek. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is one that is an interesting one. This is one that was kind of like lurking in the shelves today when I was like looking through the cars. It was behind a few, and it was just kind of like I don't know, just like stood out to me immediately as when I saw it. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll get better look at it once I pop it out of the package. But yeah, immediately popped out at me. So speaking of popping out, let's pop it out of the package and get a better look at it. So, what do we got here? At first glance, it almost looks like, yeah, no, the windows are tinted red, which is so interesting. Like very lightly. It's almost like the rose-colored glasses, right? Um, but of course, like clearly the interior is red, which is dope. I think that that's just like a really cool, like, yeah, it's just a great touch. And then with this, like, almost like, I don't know if this is like robin's egg blues. I think robin's egg blue might be a little bit bluer than that. This is just like a nice sky blue, but like, yeah, I feel like with the sky blue and the red, it's just a really great combo. Very kind of iconic looking. Let me grab a little water here. That was a really good looking car. It's got VP on the side, VP Racing, um, and this like really cool graphic that has this sort of like, I don't know, kind of like 80s inspired sort of like stripe zigzag kind of vibe, as well as some like pinstriping. and this kind of almost like mustache that the car has, like these sort of like whiskers that it has kind of trailing across its head. Um, yeah, what I was seeing here is that this is not like a new car, right? Obviously, if you look inside, it actually only has a single seat. So let's see, can we get it to like zoom in there? I don't know. Hard to tell if you can spot it or not, but it's only got a single seat. So clearly this is, as they said, a drag car. So it's been gutted of anything that is superfluous. This is not for like hauling passengers or cargo. This thing is like built to do one thing and one thing only, really, and that is sit on a track, burn a shitload of rubber, and then just haul ass in one direction as fast as can be. Yeah, it's got a little like a chute back here, I think. I mean, yeah, I think that's what that's for. That's what you would have if you were doing drag racing. You would want to be able to like pop your parachute at a certain point because like this thing is going to be going so fast. So what does that tell us? Well, I mean, it says a number of things. It could say any number of things or nothing about where you are in your life or what you're creating. But I have a feeling that like whatever it is, it's clearly built around you and your taste, and kind of maybe the bones of like something something much older that you're kind of like doing in your own way. That's kind of a theme I've seen with a few other cars too, and maybe it's just me kind of like running out of things to imagine, but I don't think that's it. I think that a lot of us are kind of like building upon um yeah, like tradition and like I don't know, like sensibilities and structures that have been here for a while. Um, but we're repurposing them and kind of like taking them from something that was purely dedicated to like maybe looking cool, but like being more practical and turning it into something that is like sport, that is purely for the love. No one does this unless like they can kind of like low key afford to spend the time and money that it takes to really enjoy something like this. So there's a certain amount of like grounded like well-being inherent in this card's existence. Like the person who has this, they they like yeah, there's the red inside. Again, that's like the root chakra. It's like there is like an inner kind of like peace with oneself, right? An inner groundedness and sort of like an imaginative kind of like shoot for the sky, like this thing literally in the sky blue. It's very much this kind of airy, like almost floating, like I can almost see this thing flying. Um, yeah, it has like a really interesting mixture of like earth and sky. Um, and what I was also noticing is like this this like red line here, right? It looks like it's going through a dip, through like a severe kind of like a fall, right? But then you see it pop back up and then like zip into this like razor sharp red line. So what I'm getting out of that is like maybe there was something that happened in your journey that kind of looked like you had a lot, or there was like you were higher up in some way, shape, or form, and then like kind of went through a dramatic like drop, dip. But what I'm getting here with this line coming up and then sort of like honing in is like you're sort of like dropping in to then like hook in. And by like hooking in like that, you almost like you condensed all of this like broader spectrum, boom, into this like fine pointed laser. And so now, much like this car, you're able to go in this like singular pointed direction, like towards your vision, through the rose tinted windshields. You're able to kind of like set your sights and just like laser lock in, which I think is super freaking cool. And like you're not looking at what anybody else thinks of it, like you're kind of uh you're the you're the one who is kind of like the only, like you and your car, you and like this vehicle. That's really all that matters to like the person driving this. And of course, there is community around this kind of thing as well. Um, but I feel like this is such a solo kind of, um, I don't know, like very much like a dream car, a spirit car, if you will. Big old like blower hood scoop on the top there. Looks very cool. And it is a pretty cool looking car. It kind of to me also has like a weirdly like commutery car kind of vibe, which I think is just inherent in these like 80s cars. Um, but the other funny like kind of hit that I got off of it is like there's something about the kind of like the way that this blends like a lighter kind of like color palette, or sort of aesthetic with like over the top of this like muscle car kind of vibe. um it kind of has like this sort of like body positivity vibe about it, and it's like because it has like masculine qualities, but then it also has these sort of like yeah, like feminine like fine details and like color choices. At least that's my perception of it. And yeah, like I don't know, it's like it's a beautiful blend. So whoever you are, wherever you are, you're 76. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but and VP, not sure what that means either. Vice president, but I mean, I don't know, president of the vices. I just don't like the idea of being like, vice president. Why not the president? Like, anyways, um, yeah, you're doing your thing. You're rocking it, and yeah, keep that keep that nose pointed down the track, and keep your wheelie control on lock, and yeah, tear up some rubber. Take care. So if pack number 6 was the packet you chose, let's give it a look. All right, what do we have here? We have the roller toaster. It has like a little function. This is definitely kind of the quirkiest of the cars that was picked out today. And oddly enough, it was, well, maybe not that odd, honestly. Look at the colors of the thing. It was the first thing that I saw when I like walked up on the cars at Ralph's. It was just like blazing, and I was like, what in the hell is that? As I was thinking, like, I wonder what kind of cars like I'm gonna get, like what will spirit guide me towards. Spirit guided me towards the roller toaster. So let's open it up and see what it does. What it do. Alright, so I wanna try this out. Okay. I think it just goes like that. I don't know that it does anything beyond that. uh, let's see. If we roll it, does it? No. There's no activated mechanism. It's kind of lame. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Wait, can you? Oh, tell me you can lock them in. No. All right. Well, yeah, this kind of goes with it. How you been feeling lately? This one to me, it has like a slightly like a sane asylum sort of vehicle going on to it. And it's got like the toast, so it's like the toast doesn't really have a whole lot of say as to where it's going in this thing. Um, and it's got this like real chipper kind of like I don't know, like 1950s, 60s like like breakfast joint kind of like font where it says roller toaster. Um, yeah, there we go. Now it's zoomed in. As well as the little power cord, which is, unplugged, notably. I guess it's only on one side. That's interesting. I wonder if that's supposed to be like the exhaust. But at the same time, one would sort of expect, oh, they're probably an electric vehicle. I don't know, this is kind of fun. It was I just like expecting way too much of it? I think this is the thing about this particular vehicle. Oh, let's look at the bottom. Oh, that's really cool. I do really enjoy that. All right, so here's the thing. Those colors are actually pretty dope. This like little toast color, that I feel like is pretty unfortunate because that brown in connection with this like lime, not really lime green. I don't know what you would want to call this green. What do we want to call this green? Some sort of uh limon sorbet. That's being really nice. No, avocado, avocado crema. Who knows what we want to call this? Um, it's a weird green. It's not bad, especially when you pair it with this blue. Looks good. Looks kind of like sports stuff. But then, man, when you pair it with that like weird brown, I guess it also kind of goes with that vibe. But when you just see the green and the brown, it's getting like Indian food slash diaper adjacent. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not good. Um, all right, so hang in there. Let me just first say that if you chose this one, hang in there. I have a feeling that like the universe has been taking you on a ride, maybe you and another piece of toast. You guys have been feeling a little toast, or maybe two aspects of you have been feeling a little like toasted again, and also a little unplugged. Maybe a little unplugged from a power source. Maybe you felt a little, yeah, slightly depleted. And as kind of like maddening as all of that is, like the universe has actually got you. It's got you in this like kind of slightly like insane asylum looking toaster patty wagon thing. I know that sounds terrible. And that's the thing. When you're going through these times, like a lot of us are, there's a lot to be kind of, yeah, tripping about out there in the world. Or just even like with our own growth and evolution, like we're having to let go of old ways that we powered ourselves, right? So maybe it is even a food thing. Like, Are we eating too much bread, you know? Are we gluten intolerant or something and we didn't understand, we didn't realize it, or is it just not, what is being called to us right now? Or are we conversely like being called to make incredible baked goods right now because like actually we're finding this like whole new sort of like glitter and glamour to that side of us. Any of those is like a potential, but something about this to me says like there's a sense of feeling a little like locked in and on a trajectory that you don't really fully feel like you understand, and that is completely understandable. We are definitely right now kind of transiting from one universe to another, and that sometimes can be a little crazy making, right? And so it's nice to know that like you're safely wrapped up in the toaster of the universe, and so while your toast may be cooked, like it's being divinely divinely roasted to the golden perfection, right? And when when all of this finally kind of like hits the table, you're going to be like sipping mimosas and like, yeah, truly enjoying sort of the fruits, the hard squeeze, of those oranges, and the burnt fingers pulling those toast out of the, although they're not toasted at all, but honestly they look pretty revolting. They look like bologna. So maybe, look into what's in your food. Maybe your toast is actually bologna. Uh, no, no, no. It's not. It's not. Don't worry. I mean, probably not, unless you're a real weird oddball and you just never realized. Uh, all right. Well, hang in there, my friend. You will be toasted to the perfect degree and pop up like that. Way, way better than that. But oh, the other thing is, this is kind of soothing. So that's the other thing about it. Like, when we're kind of going through the crazies, right? There's going to be things that don't look exactly the way we expect them to look, or yeah, they show up in a weird way. I've experienced this recently for sure, where there's like stuff that pops up, and I'm like, I did not order that. That seems like the opposite of what I ordered. Right? It doesn't even work. The toaster doesn't even work. It's like, okay, well, but as you're like hammering away at it, wailing about it, it feels kind of good, right? And like now you're getting some shit off your chest, right? You're wailing about how this thing's a piece of shit and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you're doing that. You're doing the crazy making that is allowing some old bullshit out of your system. And once that's clean and clear, you're gonna be sitting at the table with your favorite folks, or yeah, I don't know, your favorite foods. It's kind of a creepy thing to put together, but not really. But, like I say, don't cross the streams or whatever. But anyways, oh, this is a weird car. If you pick this one, you're an odd bird, but you're also clearly one after my own heart because it was the first one that I saw, and maybe that's partially it too. Is like having a little bit of like that, strange sense of humor. It really helps you get through things, and yeah, it helps make sure everything looks chipper as fuck. All right, take care. Enjoy your mimosas once you get there. Okay, so if you chose pack number 7, let's take a look at your car. You got Decidedly Go. So this is part of Mattel's playful line of designs inspired by decades of timeless and iconic toys from Mattel. So this one is inspired by the 8 ball, the magic 8 ball. So I figured, like, how could I not go with the magic 8 ball? Sorry, it's been put back in the package because this is the second take. The first time I was just so stumped by the magnificence of the 8 ball that I kind of had to take a break and reset the camera. Anyways, is almost just as good as new because we're going to pop it out of the package anyways. So I was like kind of immediately like, I think this was maybe the second car that I spotted on the shelf, and I was just like so smitten with it because, like, look at this thing. It looks alien. Like, it almost looks like this dome almost has this kind of like Cyclops, kind of alien Cyclops, like cyborg kind of vibe, with like the cheekbones coming down to this like lip, with the sort of snarl of that grill. And then you got the nose and whatnot, big old breather on there, probably a V8. You got the 8.8 there. Uh, yeah, it's the paint is like this. There's like a little metallic-y fleck. I don't know if you kind of can get that or not, but yeah, really beautiful. It has this kind of like cosmic night sky, night vibe, and yeah, with the whole black dome, you have this very yeah, like UFO vibes. As far as colors go, I think it's really interesting that you have these like kind of riding on the wheels of gold, you know, with this sort of like, yeah, then kind of like stripe design coming over the back with the like beautiful little Hot Wheels sort of like flame across the back, and then these three golden stripes leading into one golden stripe down the center, and then these other two lines have been transformed, right, into the sort of red pill, blue pill, right, or just, it doesn't always have to be a red pill, blue pill. That's kind of like a little bit hyped up, maybe. It's just like different choices, hot, cold, um, you know, light, dark, polarity. That's kind of the magic trick, right, of infinity, is that you pass through one thing, one unified thing, a series of stripes. Here it's three things, but you get it, it's gold. These are the same, they all come from the same source, right? And then as it passes through the magic double mirror of infinity, the dome, it becomes three different things, two separate things. It becomes this like, um, yeah, magic trick of color, of light refracted and turned into different spectrums. And so that's really a beautiful, kind of a beautiful symbolism that's woven throughout this. I don't know if that was intended or not, but you can also see that the gold thread carries throughout as well. And of course, the gold thread is what, ostensibly these wheels are riding on, is that like golden track, leaving those kind of like gold streamers through space as this thing cruises. And then the obviously kind of like what is implied by a toy like this, based off of the Magic 8 Ball, where you can shake it up and find an answer, is the gimmick. The gimmick is that it has a little kind of like dice kind of thing that you can kind of wobble around in there and come up with answers to some of life's deepest questions, I'm sure. But in my experience so far, it's very hard to really kind of like see inside there. And the other ones like had water, so it would float up to the top. This one, like, I think you just have to kind of like shake it around and then decide, okay, whatever I can make out is going to be my answer. Um, Otherwise, you have to turn it upside down and look at it with like a flashlight or something, which I found to be excruciatingly difficult. So, maybe there's something about that is like, when we ask questions from infinity, we don't always get a straight answer. Oftentimes we don't. And if we, whatever answer we do make out is kind of like, it's we have to develop our own way of seeing it, of divining it, of coming to those conclusions for what resonates for us and for like what we feel is like intuitively being kind of guided to us. But I think the important thing to remember, while it is beautiful that we get these multiple colors and we get the world of hot and cold, and we get like, um, the wide range of beauty that is kind of like granted by that, we also have to remember that like these things can seem at odds, and sometimes they can kind of almost feel like they're at war, especially if we identify with one of those and not the other. And the truth is that like we are gold, we are both of these things. We kind of like we have the ability to express and flow into like that cool side or that more passionate hot side. So whatever it is you do, you're golden, and you're being informed by, I want to say like star family, right? Like you are like, this is the mothership right here. Like this is like the mystery. I love how this car just has this huge circle void boom center. That's powerful. And like I think that people can't necessarily see into what it is that you're working on or what is moving within like the sphere of spirit, um, in your life right now, or in like maybe that's how you feel. You can't see into it, but trust that like this is your car. This is what is carrying you into the future, and it looks like it's already from the future. So I think you're well set. It also looks like it's from like the past. Like this is just this weird old kind of, I don't know what it is, Chevy kind of like 70s hood. It has these weird elements where it's like very futuristic and then very kind of old school, which I think is beautiful. It's timeless, It is very much a timeless vehicle, and you're on a timeless path. And yeah, you're kind of cloaked in the cosmos and wielding uh, wielding kind of like, yeah, the different aspects of yourself really well, um, as like one continuous thing. Like you've unified them, or you're utilizing them in such a way where each of those aspects gets to shine, yet you get to claim all of that as yours. Um, I don't know if that quite makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful card. Do you have any questions? Here's the time to think of your questions. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we're going to try shaking this thing up, and we're going to see what the 8 ball says about what your question is, what's on your mind. All right. Give you another second. All right. Whatever you got, let's do it. Magic 8 ball, Hot Wheels, gods of the chariot, we call upon you to grant us a clear answer. I think that was enough, right? Maybe a few more? Yeah, a couple more. Couple more. I feel about right. I think so. Yeah, let's do it. What does that say? Let me try and look at it. It is. What the fuck does that say? It is certain. There you go, my friends. It is certain. I hope that's the answer that you wanted. Don't ask questions to answers you don't want. No, I'm sure it was a good thing. Cool. Well, you keep on riding those golden rails and keep on being the cosmic baddie that you are. I hope you enjoyed that, and that was your reading. Peace. Okay, so here is the winning the winning circle here of all the cards unboxed, and yeah, I kind of wanted to like take a look at them and do a little bit of like a conclusion or sort of what is the picture that is being painted by this collection of cars, right? Because we looked at what each one of these says, and they all have something that's quite unique about them. But together, they also kind of create a picture. And I think, this being a kind of a read of our energy, the collective energy at this time, truth is that there's going to be a little bit of each of these energies inside of us because that's what a collective is. That's what a collective reading is. Like, um, it's taking a sampling, and while it may be more prominent for you to be in this space or for you to be over here in this space, it doesn't mean that there's not a little bit of like crazy toaster impatience also lurking here and there as well. So, yeah, what I'm kind of getting right off the bat is that um, right now, a lot of us are kind of like we are melding, we're melding two things. We're bringing multiple things, maybe more than two, but definitely at least two. Um, Multiple like streams or aspects of ourselves, interests, hobbies, traditions. We're bringing these things together within us. Maybe even like, yeah, things that seemed almost opposite, right? And we kind of never knew how they were going to collide, how they were ever going to exist in the same world, let's say. And what has happened or is happening, I think it's happened, we're in kind of the aftermath of this happening, but something recently um, that felt like it was going to kill us um, actually is now in the kind of alchemical process of like being like creating a certain level of fusion or like understanding around like the purpose or the usefulness of these kind of elements that didn't seem to go together and maybe even looked a little ugly to us. um, these kinds of elements are now kind of melding within us, and there is like this like
kind of like beautiful style that is shaping up. There's this beautiful kind of I don't know, there's like a personal like this is a custom future built for you, designed for you, and it's being created not just by you, but also by a community and also by spirit and divine timing. This toaster car here reminds us that, like, yes, there's a bit of like a journey to get there, and we may feel a little drained and a little crazy on that path. But at the end of that journey, like, we're all sitting down at like the diner together, right? Like, this is a classic car meetup here, or experimental car meetup, all inclusive car meetup here. And when we all do meet up, we're gonna sit down all together at the table. We're all gonna eat. We're all gonna have that perfectly cooked breakfast of choice, because like we did wait on that time. We did like take our time on that journey, trust in the process. And what we end up with is something that is like entirely unique to us, and it has like the bones of older like structures and traditions, but ultimately like it comes together in such a unique style for us, in such a like futuristic kind of like, yeah, like sometimes alien, sometimes look, look at these two cars. This one is an imaginary car, and this is a real freaking car. These things exist. They both look like flying saucers. Um, but this one literally is like bending our brains when it comes to what a car is capable of. And this one is kind of asking that of our imagination. And either way, we're harnessing like the newest technology, the most cutting edge, like quantum technology, right? Um, we no longer have to rely on air smashing us down. Now we absolutely suck to the pavement. We're like on another level now. We are like completely planted and aware of how and where we would like to maneuver as it happens in a split second, because we trust, we tap into that kind of like infinite space of all possibilities, and we understand that like nothing's going to take us out. Like, we have that kind of death proof quality that we have built up in ourselves, because let's be honest, like, as far as like death goes, for us who are still here in the realm of the living, um, those deaths take place all the time, um, in little ways, but a lot of times what it is that is dying away is not us. Actually, all the time, what is dying away is not us, because we, the true us, is not able to really perish. So as these things pass away, like as things get stripped down to the bone, what is revealed is actually this sort of like, yeah, a gorgeous structure, an intricate working, something that we didn't quite expect, and no one else could have gotten to besides us. And so I think that we should all give ourselves a huge pat on the back and understand that like we are carving out an incredible space for ourselves moving forward, off the back of this full moon. And whenever it is that you're finding this, I hope that you're doing so very well. Understand that like life's here to have fun with. Like these are the kinds of toys that you can expect in your future, but like the real version, whatever it is that is your version of that badass car, that badass chariot. I hope you're doing well and take care.